our keynote speaker. Demola Odeyemi is the CEO of Optimum Bank and a board member of several other companies in the past. He served as an executive director in GTB and has his BSc, MSc, and PhD from Obafemi Awolowo University. Are you clapping or you are thinking? You know, some profile might weaken your hand and expand your brain. So instead of clapping, you are thinking. So both of them are accepted. As a very dynamic leader, he has leveraged his expertise to drive maximum impact, overcoming challenges and seizing opportunities within Nigeria and other countries within Africa and beyond. This has earned him the reputation of an excellent executor. He is passionate about driving change and will be sharing some invaluable secrets of how he has been able to achieve unparalleled success in over 30 years of career experience. He is happily married with children. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please put your hands together? Welcome our first keynote speaker in person of Dr. Demola Odeyemi. Can we please put your hands together as welcome our first speaker? We can do better, ladies and gentlemen. We can do better. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually a pleasure being here this morning. It's really exciting, you know, to be in the midst of young men and women who have taken it upon themselves to excel and to differentiate themselves from the other people. One thing that stood out about this event is the fact that the planning commenced long ago. John had started talking to me about this event over a year ago. So you can imagine the level of work, the level of thought, the level of concentration and dedication that has come into it before we got here today. So I want to congratulate you, young men, for putting this together. And I pray that the Lord will commence this in your life, will sustain you till very old age. In Jesus' mighty name. Now, when I got the topic, I started thinking, angulation, what does this mean? I said, all these young people have started again with all these pun. Pun is playing on words. Now, what is angulation? I went to check angles of things. How does it relate to man? And I pray that God give me the revelation of what I'm going to be talking about. Then it now came later with the topic that I'm expected to talk about, because initially the topic wasn't there, it was just angulation. And I started thinking. And then the topic came, overcoming distraction to attain distinction as a man. Overcoming distraction to attain distinction, you know, which is very critical, very, very important. I'll take it in three major heads. First, I will talk about the dimensions of a man. What are the critical dimensions of a man? Then I'll talk about distractions. What are the critical distractions that we face? Then I'll give an advice on how to overcome those distractions. So first, what are the dimensions, which are the angles of a man? Let's use it that way, to use your word. You know, first, there's a physical aspect of a man. There is the intellectual aspect of a man. There's a moral aspect of a man. There's a spiritual aspect. There's a social aspect. Then there's an economic aspect and the financial aspect. All these are various aspects that make a man or a woman or human being a real man or a real human being. So I said here, to be a real man or to be a real human being, all these facets, all these subsegments must be well taken care of. Otherwise, you will not be a fulfilled person. And you must function successfully in each of these sectors that I've mentioned. Socially, you must function well. Financially, you must function well. Morally, you must function well. Spiritually, you must function well. All these aspects must be well coordinated for you to be a real man. So, in all your endeavors, you must ensure that those areas are taken care of. Let me take each of those segments or dimensions and just put a little explanation on them. On the physical side, as a man, let's talk about holistic health. I remember when I was growing up, they said health is wealth. As a man, your health is very fundamental. Unfortunately, most men don't take care of their health. We don't. We joke with it until it's too late. I'll tell you, in the last 1 month, at least I've heard about 5 or 6 young men that passed through heart attack. Young people, 41, 45, 50, which is unheard of when I was growing up. If you die below 70 when I was growing up, it would be a disaster. But when you look around now, most men dying now, they're in their 50s or 40s or 60s because we don't take care of our health. So a critical dimension of our life, a critical angle of our life is our health. Cleanliness, very fundamental. Physical fitness. Many of us, it's even got worse with working from home. No physical activity, just sitting down there and eating recklessly. That's a major area that we need to take care of. Then, reference and respect for life. Many young men don't even respect their life. They don't even care. They just live life as if there is nothing to live for. It's a major area. Physical part of our life is a major area that we must take care of. The way we do everything we do that affects our physical nature is critical that we must take care of. Number 2 is the intellectual aspect of men. You must constantly be seeking information, constantly be seeking knowledge, constantly seeking things that will enhance who you are. You know, we always say that it is from the abundance of the brain that the mouth speak. You cannot give what you don't have. Apart from what you have on the brain, if what you write, everything you do is a function of the cognitive skills and the cognitive strength that you have. So, how well are you constantly enhancing your cognitive skills as a man or as a human being? It's a major aspect of our life that we must take care of. People will respect you based on what you know. They might respect you based on what you have, but it will be temporary. They might respect you based on what you wear, it might be temporary. Real respect, real recognition come from when people know that you have a value to add. And you cannot add value when you don't have it, because you cannot give what you don't have. So here I have, you must love the truth. You must have love for critical thinking. You must be creative. You must be openness to knowledge and respect for others. Then you must have future orientations. Think about the future. Where are you going? Where are you coming from? Then you must be scientific in your inclinations. That is the intellectual aspect. Third is the moral aspect. Very important. Morality rules the world. Morality brings peace to the world. You know, one of the things that has affected the world today is the way our moral system has been completely bastardized. Without morality, we cannot have a peaceful world. Even with religion, with everything, if morality is not given its primary position in our life, there will be nothing to give. So morality is very important. And what does it entail? It entails self-esteem and self-worth. Goodness, you must be good as a person. You say, when you say goodness and mercy must follow me all the days of my life, and you are evil, how will goodness follow you when you are evil? It doesn't work like that. Light and darkness don't work together. So the moral standards, the courage, the trust, the compassion, the feeling for others are critical. Honesty and integrity. Then personal discipline. Personal discipline. How disciplined are you as an individual is critical. You can never achieve success without discipline. So to what extent do you control yourself as a man? To what extent do you control your activity as a human being? Very important. The next dimension, or the next angle, if I can use that word, is the spiritual angle. The spiritual angle. You know, most people underestimate the role of spirituality in everything that we do. That is faith in God. Whichever your religion is, that's a faith in God. It gives you inner peace. It makes you to be more tolerant of others. And again, it's a unifying factors for people. I always tell, when I counsel young people who are newly married, I always tell them one of the key areas you must work on in your marriage is spiritual compatibility. Because in a marriage, sometimes when problems come, your ability to pray together or to share, the spirituality together, gives you a feeling that the problem has been solved, even though the problem has not been solved. But because you have some common faith and you're able to pray together, you have that faith. So as a man, you must have that level of spirituality, making you to live above the material things. Unfortunately, as you would see, one of the problems in our society today is that we are extremely materialistic. Spirituality makes you see that life goes beyond materiality. So it's a major dimension that all men, or all human beings, male or female, irrespective of the gender, must take care of. The next dimension that is critical is the social dimension. It says being in a community, interacting with people, living with people, building peace and justice in our society. Very critical. Part of what we need to look at here as human beings is a family peace and justice. When there is no peace, when there is no peace, justice, there can never be progress. 2, respect and love for others. Respect others around you. Concern for the common good. What constitutes the common good for society must be pivotal in our mind. Cooperation. How do you cooperate? See merry men, they have cooperated together to bring something to the table where we are opportune to be talking today. Cooperation. Fairness and equity. Fairness and equity, very critical. Social respect for human life. You must respect everybody in the environment and respect human rights. Otherwise, there'll be chaos. Then, appreciation of diversity. I want to talk about a bit about that. Diversity across all sectors. Appreciate gender diversity. Appreciate cultural diversity. Appreciate social diversity. Appreciate language diversity. If you cannot do that, you cannot actually be called a real person or a real man. Because diversity is the order of the day today. With the global village that we find ourselves, you can find anywhere you can find yourself tomorrow. You must appreciate the importance of diversity, and then you must be responsible as parents. That's part of the social aspect. Parenting and taking care of the children and being a responsible father or a responsible mother forms part of the social dimension of a man. Economic dimension, very important. No matter the story you talk about or you say, if you don't have that economic strength, the economic power, if you don't have the ability to organize yourself, organize your resources, optimize your resources, then you are a failure. So here we are talking about concern for productive activities. As a man, you must be productive. It's either you produce or you perish. If you don't produce, you are not a man. You are not even supposed to be living. So a major dimension of your life is productivity. What are you adding to the society? Don't just be a consumer, be a producer. Then I said here, wise use of resources. We always think resources are infinite. It's a lie. You must make the best use of resources that are at your disposal at any point in time. Then responsibility and responsible consumerism. Even when you consume assets or consume resources, consume them responsibly. That's another dimension. That is no wastage. Then productivity and quality. Everything you do comes out of you, reflects who you are. The quality of what you emit or the quality of what you elicit determines who you are. So at every point in time, whichever gender you are, you must ensure that quality comes out of you. Then work ethics and entrepreneurial spirit. Work ethics, doing the right thing at the right time, diligence, being diligent, being focused, being determined is a major aspect that we all want to work on. Unfortunately, like I said, some of these things are being currently made irrelevant in our society today. Then entrepreneurial spirits. Entrepreneurial spirit. What does this mean? As a man, you must look for ways of being able to sustain yourself and creating value yourself. You don't have to be dependent on people for the whole of your life. Some of us make that mistakes. We have a job, we sit down thinking it's our job. Then after a point you're asked to go. Then where do you go back to? It's very common. Many of us build careers, spend all our life building careers, work in organizations until one day they ask us to go. That is another aspect of man you have to think about. Then the political, I won't waste more time on that. Political aspects, you must be relevant in your society, you must participate in activities in society, you must contribute to what is going on in society. All this helps you to become a real man or a real human being in the society. Now, all these that I've listed are the fundamental variables that will make us or that will qualify us to be a whole human being. However, many of us don't get to this level. Many of us don't actualize this. Many of us we don't even realize it. It is not that we are not endowed with the potential to have it, but just because of certain distractions, just because of certain things around us, take us away from fully actualizing the potentials or fully actualizing the realities that are staring at us, at every point in time. What are these distractions? Now, like I said, my topic is avoiding distraction to achieve distinction. But what I've done first is to look at it based on the overall theme. Look at it. What makes you, what qualifies you to be a whole man, which I've stated. Now, all those aspects that we have listed, why don't people achieve those aspects? Why are people not being able to achieve those 7 things without fail? And I want to start talking about them now. What are those things? Distractions generally are things that take your energy and take your time. They don't add value. They take your energy, they take your time, they don't add value to you, and at the end of the day, you become inefficient, you become ineffective. Those are distractions. And distractions are so common all around us. I will tell you this. When the Creator made us, He made us to be excellent. He made us to be perfect. He made us to be distinctive, to be extraordinary. That is the creation that God made for us. Unfortunately, there's a guy, I read one book, one of the things I read in my undergraduate days in Ife in the 80s. There's a guy called Pestalozzi who said the human mind is a blank slate, it's a tabula rasa. You are created clean. Nothing was written on your mind. But when we got into the world, the society started writing all sorts of things on us. That now constitutes form part of our personality and know we are. Those are distractions. Distractions pollute you, take you away, and prevent you from achieving the objectives that you have set for yourself. So we get polluted and distracted, and as a result, our journey is either truncated or our journey is not fulfilled. The potentials that we are endowed with, we don't get there because of these distractions. What are these distractions, and how can we manage them? Like I said, distractions are part of lives. Everywhere you go, that somebody is just distracting us with that weapon of mass distraction. All those mobile phones, they are weapons of mass distraction. That's a distraction. We're listening, people are following, then some people start ringing. That's distraction. You can see distractions are everywhere. They are all parts of our life. We can't avoid them. We cannot, because they would always come. But the important thing that makes us a real man or a real human being is how well we can manage these distractions and how well we can reduce their impact in our life. People are different and people manage distractions differently. Some people, distraction can destroy them completely. Some can find ways of managing them. But you see, a real man, a well-fulfilled man, an actualized man will learn how to sufficiently manage and control those distractions. Distractions don't just impact on our lives. They impact on our focus and they sap our energy. They take away your energy and reduce your productivity. That is definition of distraction. Take your energy away, take your focus away, reduce your efficiency, reduce your effectiveness, reduce your productivity, and in actual fact can cut short your life. Now, what are the major distractions today that affect men in society? Number one that we all know is social media. Social media. Today, people can be on social media for 5, 6, 7 hours. Just from one site to the other, checking reels, checking for hours. Is a major distraction. And it is seriously affecting productivity. It's affecting output. You go to offices now, you see young people, they'll put headphones on their hair. They're on social media. You are meant to be working. You are being paid to work. But you see them spending 99% of their time on social media. You have kids at home. I used to fight my kids. I said, come, what is this that you're doing? Go back. There's no way you can be reading and can be checking social media. It doesn't work. And I can imagine, cast my mind back when I was in the universities in the early 80s in Ife. Thank God there was no social media. How would I have even passed? Because the way these things take your attention, the way it consumes you and absorbs you, you will not be. And as you are checking from one to the other, because the artificial intelligence is structured in such a way that things that you like seeing will just be coming, and it affects your brain. It actually gives you a level of dopamine that excites you. You just be on that phone, be scrolling. Before you know it, 5 hours you are scrolling, doing nothing, adding no value to your life. That is a major distraction. And I'll tell you, it affects everybody, young, middle age, and old people. The only thing is, don't get caught in the bug of social media distraction. Number 2, regrets. Many people bother themselves regretting on what has happened in the past. It's a distraction. The past belongs to the past. There is nobody that has succeeded without failing. There's nobody that will get to the top level in life without encountering challenges. Please don't allow anything in the past or any regret to weigh you down. Regrets prevent you from moving forward. When you are driving a car, you want to go forward, would you be looking back? There'll be an accident. You must not allow regrets to drive you back. Sometimes you feel, I wish I'd taken a different decision. I wish I'd taken a different route. I wish I'd gone to do something else. But you have not done it. So move forward. Regardless of what it is. Wasting your time, worrying about the past will never help you for the future. Does that make sense? Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your time on regrets. It actually prevents you from thinking about the future. Past events belong to the past. Drop them and move forward. You will be able to do better. Third point that takes our energy is grudges. Grudges. Being angry. Let me tell you one personal testimony. When I was preparing this paper today, I prepared this early this morning. And as I was writing it, I was reflecting on my own life. And I will tell you, with all sincerity, everything I'm telling you here, I am also guilty of. And I've seen how maybe I would have even done better, or I've seen things better if I'd done this 10 years ago. Am I making sense? Grudges, for instance. I have grudges against certain people, and I said, what am I? So when I was preparing this, I said, why do I still hold this person in my heart? I said, of what essence? Because who is hurting? I'm the one hurting. In our life, in our journey of life as a man, there will always be people that will hurt you. There will be people that will do things that you never expect. People will disappoint you. My brother, forget it and move forward. My wife always tells me this: leave those people. Leave them. Move on. But is it easy to forgive and also forget? It's difficult. But please, when I was preparing this morning, I was just looking at myself. I said, why not let's just forget and forgive and just move on? Yes, I've forgiven, but I've not forgotten. But please try as much as possible to forget. It's energy wasting, honestly. A grudge is just engaging you in negative thoughts, which is not necessary. It makes you very difficult and hard for you to focus when you are too worried about what someone did to you in the past. It's in the past already. Those experiences actually made you stronger for who you are today. So don't hold grudges. Because when you start holding that grudge, it weighs you down. It brings you down. Prevents you from being who you are at any point in time. So please try and live above it. If they did something truly unforgettable, the best revenge you can give them is to forget about them altogether, completely. That's the best revenge. Don't think, I hold a grudge against Mr. X for doing ABC to me. Forget it. Just that your revenge is ignore it and greet them. Somebody did something to me some years ago. This was very painful. I went to a conference and I saw the person. I went to greet the person specially. The person was shocked. The person knew he hurt me. I went to greet him. The person could not believe I'll come. I went to greet him. I shook hands with him. I said, Oga, how are you doing, sir? This and that. He was shocked. But that is it. All through that conference, I'm sure he was not at peace. That is one of the things we need to live. It's a distraction. Because every time you think about those grudges, they bring you down. They prevent your cognitive strength from actually optimizing itself. And who is losing? It is you. Number 4, toxic relationships. Toxic relationship prevents you from actualizing the objective in life. You know, there's nothing more distracting in life than spending time with people who are toxic. Toxic people never say anything positive about you, about your life, about anything around them. Why are you there? When you're in a toxic relationship, either as a young man or as a middle-aged man or whatever, it cuts short your life. Toxicity does not help you in any manner. Avoid everything toxic. Just move away from them. You know, in our elementary biology, they taught us about amoeba. You know, the way it moves. When it gets into an area where the water has pollution, you know, amoeba doesn't have hand or legs. It uses what you call sopodia. It changes and moves away from that chemicals. Why is it moving away from chemicals? Because it doesn't help you to grow. In elementary biology, they taught us phototropism. The shoot goes towards the sun. Why does it go to the sun? Because it needs to photosynthesize. So it goes towards the sun. You too should go towards what helps you to make sense. Anything that is going to be toxic or draw you down, avoid it completely. Stop relating with people that are toxic in your environment. Toxic people are monopolistic. They want to take your time and weigh you down. Most of them are narcissists who don't want to see happiness in you. When you see people like that, just flee from them because they are evil. The truth is that they just want themselves to be the only one that is happy. Move away from them and avoid toxic people. Because what they want to do is to make you feel bad at all times. And the moment you feel bad, it prevents you or it stops you from actualizing the potentials that you have. So, consider cutting such people off so that you can focus on your own goals. In Yoruba, they say something. They say, Orishabo ligbemi, shemibo shebami. If the Anoraku cannot help me, if you leave me the way he has met me, you can't come and worsen my situation. So, toxic relationship, you must avoid. One thing again, another point that constitutes major distraction to us as human beings is pursuit of perfection. You want to be perfect at all times. Everything must be perfect. What is perfect in this world? You are chasing a mirage because nothing is really, really perfect. So why are you looking for what doesn't exist? Some people, they want everything to be spick and span. They want everything to be perfect. But what is perfect in the world? What? If when you look at the structure of land maps of every country in the world, where did you see a regular structure? Is Africa a perfect structure? Is North America a perfect structure? What is a perfect structure? Where is perfection? Who is perfect? Only God is perfect. So if you are pursuing perfection in everything you're doing, it's a dangerous distraction. You are working towards something that does not exist. If you are pursuing perfection, it doesn't exist. Nowhere. And you know what? It's a pointless pursuit. Pointless. And it distracts you from moving on and focusing on more important goals. So what you need to do, because you know there's no perfect situation or perfection anywhere, whatever you have, make it well. You know, they say when the desired is not available, the available becomes the desired. Make the best use of what is available to you because there's no perfection anywhere. I see young men, they're looking for a perfect woman. You cannot have everything. Or young women are looking for a perfect man. Where is that person going to come from? Only God is perfect. No other thing is perfect. So don't look for perfection. Look for what you can manage and make the best out of. You cannot see something that is 100% ready for you to use. Now, another distraction which affects many people, particularly the young ones, is thinking about what others would say. Thought about others. We are so bothered about what other people think about us. Why? Why do you have to be so much bothered about that? Why? I have my life to live. When I die, I'll die alone. Anyway, when I was born alone, unless I was born as a twin. Even as a twin, we came at different times. Anyway. So why do you have to bother too much about what others are thinking? So often, we change our behavior because we are worried about what other people will say or what other people will think. This can be acceptable when you are a teenager, when you are peer influence. But after you leave that level, you are going to live your life. You are going to focus. That is the only way you can achieve excellence. That is the only way you can achieve distinction as a man. Be yourself. Worry less about what Mr. A will say, about what me. In as much as you know you are following the right path and your conscience is clear, you're doing what is right. Don't bother. Even if you do the best thing, people will still abuse you anyway. As much as Jesus Christ did they not still say some things about him? So please focus. Don't allow what people will say to distract you from achieving your objective. You can't focus. You can't focus on your own goals when you are constantly worrying about what others will say. You cannot. So please make it a point of duty to focus on your own goals. The next point, a major distraction again to us, is living a life without proper boundaries. Poor boundaries or improper boundaries. In everything you do, there must be boundaries. In every relationship you have, there must be boundaries. If you don't set boundaries, people will take you for granted. Let there be rules. Let people know this is the limit. Set boundaries for everybody, for everything. Otherwise, you will continuously be distracted and you'll never be able to move forward. People will infringe on your time and energy. Learn to say no. Most of us cannot say no. Most of us don't even know how to say no. Everything because you want to please people. You can't say no. That is not life. You're going to walk, you're going to be sad all your life. Learn to say no. Learn to set limits. Learn to set boundaries. Am I talking to you? Very, very important. These are small things that can take your energy. I'll give you an example. I run an organization, I'm a CEO. Yes, I say I have an open door policy. People come in, but sometimes, like I told you, I was seeing a lot of things here. Sometimes someday I will have set out to do A, B, C, D. I won't even do A, talk less of B or C. Because as somebody is coming, so people just come in. I say, come now. This has to stop. There must be boundaries. This time to this time, I want to concentrate on this. So I'll talk about that. But what I'm saying is that you must set limits for everything that happens in your life. Otherwise, you'll be taken for granted. Now, next distraction, which is very important, is promise of tomorrow. Some of us are over-focused on tomorrow. We are looking at tomorrow. Having goals and plans for the future is fundamental to success. You must have goals. You must have plans for your future. Very fundamental. Very good. However, getting lost in the promise of tomorrow can have an opposite effect. And I'll tell you. If you are too focused on the future, you'll be distracted from everything happening around you right now. And so if you don't conquer now, you can never conquer tomorrow. Does that make sense? If you are too focused on that future, first is that you have to dominate and understand what happens around you. You have to be in charge. Because it's from that environment that you will see opportunity that will take you to the future. Most people, young men especially, are over focused on the future, forgetting the fact that you must live today before you get to the future. Plan for the future, but stay in the present. Does that make sense? Plan for the future, but what? Stay in the present. You know, there's a book that I read when I was in primary school by D.O. Fagua, A Forest of Thousand Demons. I know some of you will know that book. That's a story of a guy who, while very poor person, he was actually thinking his life was finished. While he was walking around on the street, he saw a penny coin. So he took the coin. He started thinking, what will I do with this coin? What will I do with this coin? He said, okay. He said he will start trading. So he went and bought a lampshade. Lampshade, some of you, I don't know if it's very common, a lantern. A lantern, you have a shade, glass shade. He bought that lampshade and put it on the floor and sat down and started thinking, if I sell this one, I'll make this profit, I'll buy 2. If I sell 2, I'll make this profit, I'll buy 4. When I sell 4, I'll make this profit, I'll buy 6. He started thinking, then I'll become so rich, I'll marry the princess. I'll tell princess, go and bring food for me, go and do this. And if she fails, I'll just kick her. And he kicked the shade I had bought, and the shade got broken. What happened to him? He was living in the future, forgetting that he was still in the present. So plan for the future, but what? Live in the present. He broke the shade. Everything finished. So don't over fantasize about the future. Today will determine what the future holds for you. Final point I want to talk about distraction before we go and look at how to address it. Negative thinking. Many of us just have negative thoughts. It will never help you. You must always see the cup as half full. Never see the cup as half empty. Am I running out of time? Okay. Let me know if I'm running out of time so I can wrap up quickly. The important thing is that you must make sure that you see your cup as half full at all times. The way you see yourself and you see everything around you will determine the level of energy and the level of focus you will put into what you're doing. So I would encourage that at all, don't ever allow negative thoughts to distract you. It distracts you from the plan that you have structured for yourself. And sometimes what you think about eventually happens to you. So never allow that to happen. Take actions immediately when you see that you are being disturbed constantly by negative thoughts. Take action and cut it out. Now, those are distractions that will not allow you to achieve your objective. Now, what do we need to do to ensure that these distractions don't weigh us down and prevent us from achieving our objective in life? Number one, tell yourself the truth. Sit down and list out those things that you know yourself are distracting you from being successful. And don't tell yourself lies. Be honest with you. I told you today, when I was writing this early this morning, I saw that I am also a victim of some of the points I was writing. So please, first of all, go and sit down, introspect, call yourself to order, find out those things that are distracting you. There can be more than what I've listed, but I just gave those as examples. Then track these distractions. Create a time to know how many hours, what are you doing about them. And then prepare in your mind. Then rank them. Rank those distractions. For me, social media is one of the things that distracts me. I know. Phone distracts me. I don't know how people even cope these days. It will vibrate. Something will come. You are trying to concentrate. You go back. It doesn't make sense. How do you, those are things that you need to identify those things and see how to live above them. Now, set your most important goal for each day. Please, before you leave your house as a young man, set your goals. Put your goals there. Make sure your goals are there. Then batch your task. Have the activities you intend to do on a daily basis. Have them in batches. And make sure you live with them. Prevent yourself from switching, unnecessarily switching. I want to do this between this and focus on them. Then, that will help you in reducing your decision fatigue. 2, don't attempt to multitask. Multitasking reduces your efficiency. Someone will deceive you. You have to learn how to multitask. A man can never chase 2 rats and kill either of them. You cannot. Because one rat will go this way, another will go that way. Which one will you kill? Focus on an event per time. Don't attempt to multitask. So I have to rush because my time is over. I still have a lot of points, but let me just quickly summarize. So don't multitask. Focus on what is critical on an activity per time. Take away your phones. Put the phone aside. It's a major distraction. Sometimes you might need to look for noise blocking headphones that will help you to block all the noise. If you are working in an area where there are too many people and you want to concentrate, look for noise blocking headphones and put it on. Forget every other person and concentrate. Now, optimize your workspace. Where you are working on your table, optimize it. Take away distractions. When your table is clustered or is cluttered with so many things, they take your attention away. Have a clean table. It helps you to achieve your objective. Dump all distracting thoughts, all thoughts in your mind. Dump them in a note. Take a note. As those thoughts come, just write them and put it aside. Empty your mind. Empty your brain from all distractions. Then schedule time for distractions. Like I said, you can never avoid distraction, but schedule time for it in your day. Maybe between 9 and 10, I will now check social media. 9 and 10, those things that you think that you have dumped somewhere, schedule time. You need to do them because they are part of your life. It's just you're not allowing them to dominate your life that makes you who you are. Then sometimes delegate distractions. If you can delegate to somebody else, it will be easier for you. Now, my final word. Knowing how to avoid distraction is a critical factor to any man or any human being who wants to achieve excellence. You can never be an excellent or a distinguished person, real distinguished person, not in the way the politicians use it, if you allow distractions to rule your life. For you to join the rank of very successful people, you must be focused, you must be determined, and you must learn how to manage distraction. Distractions don't only affect you, it has domino effects on everybody around you, because the more successful you are as a person, the more you can give to society and people around you. Distraction prevents you from achieving the potentials that you have been, that God has blessed you with. The more you can manage them, the better for you. Thank you so much.